Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Matt Mullen, and you made it to our mastermind, how to make money with email. So I want to thank our friends at Raptive for making this possible. That's pretty awesome that they do this. Some of you who have maybe heard me speak before on a previous mastermind or something, I've been working with Raptive for several years now. They're good people, and I'm appreciative for my relationship with them. And some of you are brand new to Raptive. And even do I have anybody like that? Yeah. So I know that you're maybe kicking the tires here a little bit. These are the types of things that I feel are above and beyond they pay for on your behalf. So if you get value out of this, of course, it's going to be self-serving, but let them know because they're going to be if they invest in other things, they're willing to invest in this, and they find out it's helpful for you, they'll invest in other things too, whatever the next whiz bang thing is. Um, so, all right, let me share my screen here. My mom told me that PowerPoint presentations were the way to go, and I do what my mom says. So I have been working with content creators for the last 6, 7 years, a small business for the last 25. It was this last weekend, actually, that I hit my official 5 years of doing this gig full time. And that was pretty cool realization for me. I live in Arizona and I have 3 kids. None of them look like this anymore. They've all gotten married. In fact, I have a grandchild now, which is a surreal situation. So the one on the furthest left of that picture, she married a Marine and they live here, which is great. And then the one just next to me, she married some dude and went off to Illinois, which is not as great. And then, the one to my that's holding my hand, she's stuck around, thankfully. And then my son, he lives in Utah with his wife and my granddaughter. So that's awesome. I have been working with email for the last almost my entire career. But most recently, um, the the thing that I was doing just prior to this is I was doing marketing. I was the chief marketing officer for a daily deal website back in the day when everybody had a Groupon clone. I had a Groupon clone, and we had no budget to speak of. So the only thing that we had was email and affiliate. And so at our lowest watermark for basically the 10 years that I was there was $10 million in email in sales that we could attribute to our email list. And during that time, as you can imagine, I had to learn all sorts of tricks and techniques. We had 33 different engagement segments, and we sent up to 3 emails a day to some groups. So we were sending a lot of emails. Then in 2016, my wife and I created a Disney related website, got into the blogging world, and using the techniques that I'm going to share with you today, we grew our list from the day we registered our domain in September of 2016 to 2 years later, we had 40,000 subscribers. And that's using the exact technique that I'm going to share with you today. Since that time, I've had the privilege of working with some of the greatest content creators in the land. And it's awesome. These people have taught me so much, and it's been a fantastic opportunity to rub shoulders with people who are very disciplined in their work, but also creative geniuses in their own right. And then how do they use email? I've helped them to grow lists, build their brands, sell products, and it's been fantastic. And so all of those things are the types of things that I'm going to share with you over the next 5 days. You came here because you wanted to know how to make money, right? Some of you are just really, really into email. One of you maybe, and then there's the rest of you that are kind of like, oh, email, yeah, probably should do more of that. So we're gonna talk about all the email things. First of all, this is a Zoom call, so here's the housekeeping. Mute yourself when you're not talking, of course, but please do ask the questions. I've got the chat just off to my right here in a little window, and Lucy is going to be in charge of making sure that I answer everybody's questions. I will want to ignore most of your questions, but Lucy is just going to be like, no, Matt, you've got to answer these. And so because Lucy tells me to, I will do it. other thing is that every day I'm going to give you some homework. Sorry about that. But I've done this enough where I know the bite-sized chunks. Okay. You can do this. I'm asking you, you're here for 5 days. Commit to the 5 days. I promise you, if you will, you'll have a sparkly new system by the time we're done. Okay. You will make progress. This happens every single time. And then, of course, there are people who are just here because it was a free thing and thought it might be interesting to sign up for. I get that too. If that's you, I'm asking you to maybe consider being the other person and go all in today and tomorrow and through the rest of this week. I can promise you change. And I can promise you a free coupon code to my course. It's called Email on Autopilot. Do you want this? Yeah, it's free. It's normally it's $500. People actually pay me that. And so you can get it for free thanks to Raptive. Go use this coupon code. I don't think I'm going to mention it again. So here's the coupon code. I'll drop it in the chat so you can, for the copy pasters out there. And then the URL is emailonautopilot.com. Just add that code at checkout. In fact, somebody go do it just to make sure it works for me, because I have screwed that up a time or two in the past. Why do you want this? Aside from free, I will not have the opportunity over the 5 hours or this week to get through everything. And it might be a nice resource for you to go back through the stuff that I do cover. And it goes in depth, more in depth of, and it's a good refresher. So I'm going to tackle most of the concepts in here, but you're going to get into stuff that we're never going to talk in the course that we'll never talk about here. All right. Sam, thank you. Sam gets 100 points every single time she says that. So far, 100 points to Sam. The Facebook group is here. If you haven't joined yet, thank you for testing that code. I appreciate it. We're dropping you that code, that Facebook group link right now. Why do you want to be in there? Because we're all going to share our homework in there, get feedback. Kelsey promises to read everybody's documents. And you can trust Kelsey. Her parole officer says nice things about her. So I think we're in good hands there. All right. So let's talk about this right here, making money with email. You've heard this before. The money's in the list, you've probably ignored that in the past, or you're like, I don't understand how that could be. So I want to talk today about why you need to build your list right now. Today, we're going to talk about list growth, building a big email list. On the other days, we're going to talk about making money with that list, but we can't make money if we don't have a list. So we've got to start here. Lately, there has been plenty of worry and freak out. I've felt it. I think lots of people have felt it. Things are changing in the industry, but there is a few reasons that I think are fantastic to consider for why we need to build our list. Of course, it's something that you own. This is something that you've all heard of before. You're not victim to the whims of any algorithm or AI or anything else. You get your list and you can use it to drive people where you want. It is a fantastic way to build your brand. If I'm being a jerk for a second, so many of you rank #1 or rank high for something, or you get a lot of traffic through a Facebook group or something that's gone viral. But do you really have a brand? Email is a fantastic way to set yourself apart. Explain to your dedicated audience that you have something special. I mentioned this briefly, but a new traffic driver. If things are changing, don't you want to be able to control where that you bring an audience to a new website, post, a new whiz-bang doodle platform, your YouTube videos, your whatever channel that you're investing in, or your products? Also, email equals higher RPMs. Raptive, we're going to go into this in great length, and not today, but in future days. We're going to go into this great length about what Raptive knows about how you make more money the more emails that you have. I'm going to dive into that in detail. And then lastly, probably not lastly, but last on this slide, is that the money is actually in the email. Yes, these days, email's a whole new platform. It's been around forever. but brands are discovering it as a possible way to get in touch with their target audience. And aren't they going to need more of those as cookies go away? Well, I am seeing new ways within the last year where you can actually monetize inside a newsletter. Stuff that never existed before. It's pretty cool. And I'm going to share those with you too. All right. Technical stuff. The good news is that most of the techniques that I'm sharing in this mastermind will work with your ESP, your email service provider. All right. So that's good news. I personally recommend ConvertKit if you are stuck. I like ConvertKit. I have an affiliate link. Yes, I'm a shill for them. I'm unapologetic about it. If you use my link, you get 30 days free instead of 14 days. You don't even have to put in a credit card. They have a free version now that they just launched. But why am I mentioning this? Because the best platform is the one that you can get to work for you. If you're stuck for whatever reason, the reason I'm mentioning ConvertKit is because that email and autopilot course that I was sharing with you, half of it is strategy and half of it is how to do the strategy in ConvertKit. I did that because I ran into so many people with tech challenges. I was like, here, just do this. Bah, 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 bah. And that's what that course does. So if that's you, I'm not trying to sell you on switching, but if that's you, you might want to consider this. All right. Here we go. Let's get serious now. No more messing around, man. I'm ready to go. So everything that I'm going to tell you today is, and in fact, what I'm going to mention to you right now, it boiled down my entire business into this one secret. And it is not very secret. First, I'm going to introduce you to my friend, Martha. Okay, so Martha, and some of you who are on this call have heard about my story with Martha, not even that long ago, right? But so I was over at Martha's house, and we were enjoying a lovely conversation about life and feelings and the recent Taylor Swift developments. And Martha says to me, you know what, Matt? I am really hungry. And I've got a hankering for something particular. And you know what she wanted, right? I mean, she's got a glass of milk right there. What was it? Any guesses? It's obvious, right? That's right, Olivia. She said that was not what I meant to do. Water pie. I was supposed to change that slide. Man, that's a fail. Let's pretend that says water pie. In fact, we're just going to do it. Okay. Rewind my hilariousness to this. Water pie sounds funny. It sounds yummy, doesn't it? Yes, it does. So, so Martha, she says, how do you make water pie, Matt? And I said, I have no idea, Martha. But she had her nondescript, non-branded laptop there. So what did she do? She just typed in, oh man, I really blew these slides all together. She typed in water pie. Pretend that says water pie. My goodness, I've done this one so many times and never had this big of a fail. Anyway, so what happens on water pie? Whoa, this website comes up, Southern Plate. And you know that it must be good and must be important because it's right here. It's at the top. It's right here in the middle. What is the deal with water pie? Well, it was great because when she clicked on it, there's this delicious looking recipe. And so Martha makes the pie, and you know what? It was fantastic. And as she was wiping off the crumbs from that super flaky pie crust off of the sides of her mouth, you know what she did then? Did she tell all her friends? Did she bookmark water pie? Did she even write it down? No, that's not what happened. Martha bounced. There was something good on Hulu. She had to get back to work. She has a gym appointment. I don't know. But anything, she was off and on her way. Why? Why didn't Martha become a diehard superfan of whoever this was? What was it? Do you even remember anybody? I know one of you does. Let's see. What was it? Southern Plate. Because next time Martha gets hungry, what's she going to do? She's just going to go back to Google. She's going to go to Pinterest. She's going to go to, heaven forbid, ChatGPT. And she's going to get her water pie fix or whatever recipe it is. She's in what I call transaction mode. The transaction was, give me something good from Google. And Google said, sure, here it is. And she can trust that. So what do? How do we get Martha to get onto the newsletter, which is the whole goal of this whole mastermind, right? Well, that's the secret. The secret is that your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. I'm pausing for effect. Your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. That means that right now, Martha is on your site while we're talking, and she is not signing up for your list, but she could be. And Martha changes. Martha today is different than Martha 3 days ago when she wanted something green, or a month before that when she wanted something romantic, or a month before that when she wanted recipes that were healthy and were going to help her lose weight, or a month before that when she wanted Christmas recipes. Do you see how Martha's constantly changing? So what we're doing, that's why these don't work for list growth. Sign up for my newsletter. Does Martha want a newsletter? No. Get our best recipes weekly. Does Martha want more recipes weekly? No. Get tips, stories, and giveaways. That sounds spammy to Martha, doesn't it? So what do we do instead? How do we convince Martha to just hop on into our awesome newsletter? Well, the trick here is that we need something called an email hook or a lead magnet. Now, many of you have one of these, right? I'm curious to know, what do you have? Down in the chat. This is the audience participation part of our program, ladies and gentlemen. What do you have? Come on. While you're typing it in there, this doesn't work if you don't type anything in there, by the way. So it's on you, really. While you're putting that in there, because some of you do have something. Melissa, I'm glad you're here. Okay, we've got kids party planning checklist. Good. All right. We've got downloadable printable checklist, a free meal plan and grocery list. Anybody have anything else? Date night recipe ebook. Okay, I knew there would be an ebook out there somewhere. Air fryer quick start guide. Sam, are you cheating? A mini cookbook, craft project planner, save this recipe. Okay, we're going to talk about save this recipe too. If you don't have that and you are in food, you really should. But we probably won't talk about that today. We'll talk about that probably tomorrow. Offering a freebie, nothing. All right, recipes, ebook. Save this recipe's crushing it. Good. Save this article. Excellent. Top 5 comfort ebook. All right, what makes a good email hook? Well, I believe that it should grab your target reader. Probably the most important thing is it should solve a problem for your reader and arrive as soon as possible while they're thinking about it. And in the process, it should showcase you as a subject matter expert. Now, there's lots of different email hooks out there. You mentioned some of them. Printables, downloadables, checklists, and so forth. Those of you who have done any or all of these may have run into these challenges. Number one, the problem is that they take time and or skill and or money to create. Anybody have to pay somebody to make an ebook? Or did you have to spend a bunch of time trying to figure out Canva to make it? And sometimes, quite often, they simply aren't that effective at attracting readers that become your super fans. For those of you who have given away printables and never seen those subscribers again, I feel you. It's very common, the grab and go. So here's a better idea. Use your existing content. Okay? I'm going to share with you my favorite tactic. My favorite tactic that you can reliably control and you can do quickly using your existing content is called the Quick Start Guide. Now, I did not invent this concept, but I have made it my own for the last 5 years. And by golly, I swear by it. I swear by it. Here's what it is. It's simply a series of emails that guides your new subscribers to your best stuff in the order that you want, using your existing content. So back to my Disney website. Back in the day, before I ignored it completely, we ranked #1 for Disney cruise tips. When somebody was landing on our Disney cruise tips post, what do I know about that person? Take some guesses with me. Well, #1, they're probably interested in a Disney cruise to the point that they're probably maybe even booked. Number two, it's probably their first cruise. Otherwise, why do they need tips? So we created a quick start guide using our existing content called What to Expect on Your First Disney Cruise. Now, think about this for a second. This is different than sign up for updates and news about Disney cruising. It's different from get all my tips about Disney cruise. It's different from get my Disney cruise newsletter. This thing converts like crazy because it solves their next problem. It goes to the heart of why they're on my website to begin with. What to expect on your first Disney cruise hits them right smack in the nose. So our quick start guide uses your existing content. What we're going to do is we're going to create this theme for your loose words guide. Every day they're going for the next 3 to 5 days in a row, they're going to get an email from us that contains a quote unquote lesson or list of solutions to their problems. Each one of these lessons will bring them back to your desired location, back to your website, back to your Instagram, back to your YouTube channel, wherever you want. What we're doing is we're just taking the most valuable content and we're giving it to them in an order that makes sense. And the reason that this is so effective is that when people are just getting started with a new topic, they just want to get started quickly. Yes, I want it, Olivia. What we're doing is we're simplifying a topic for them. We're making it super easy for them to understand whatever it is that you've got and guide them through the process step by step. That is providing a lot of value. And the best thing of all is that you can go fast in making this because you're using your existing content. But Matt, all this content's already on my website. It's already on my blog. It's already on my YouTube channel. Can't they just get it there? Well, of course they could. They can, but they don't. We saw the bounce rates are 80 to 90%. You don't even surf the web that way. I don't either. The glory of this is that we're going to save our readers time by making it simple for them to find and engage in your best stuff. In the process, you're becoming a subject matter expert for them and bringing them back to your channel of choice, bringing them back to your blog where you monetize. In the process, because you're sending them this awesome stuff, you're also training them to open and click your future emails. Think about that for a second. When we're solving their problem and helping them make sense, we just got permission to be in their inbox for 5 days in a row. We went from Martha goes from a Google search for water pie to now having a shot at becoming a fan of Southern Plates. Okay? 1 email lesson per day for 3 to 5 days in a row. Has this started? Did this turn on a light bulb for anybody out there? Okay, all right, 2 of you, great. I hope that there's somebody stuck. And the reason for that is because I need some examples of people that I can help. Okay, so how do we select your topic? Well, many of you have multiple audiences that you serve, multiple segments. Anybody like that? You've got food, and you've got lifestyle, and you've got travel, and you've got crafts, and within crafts, you've got sewing and cricket and macrame, and I don't even know what macrame is, but it's a cool word. You've got all those things. And people get stuck there. I get it. Remember, though, this. Your existing traffic. We need to think about Martha in the moment. What does she want right now? And what problem can you solve for her? Oh, I even have a slide on that. What problem can I solve? So let's start with, before we even talk about the headline or any of that, sorry, Danae, I'll come back to it. I want you to identify this. What is your biggest channel? What traffic are you getting right now? And why did they come there? Okay, Olivia. Olivia says, I'm stuck. Multiple pillars and audiences. I want you to give yourself permission to say, you know what? I can't do all of them right now. I'm just gonna pick one. What's the biggest? What's your biggest traffic source right now? And then why did they come there? Now we're gonna come back to that in just a second. Take a look here at some examples. So Baking a Moment has 5 secrets for baking impossibly soft cookies. She's got delicious baked goods. Jansen, she's a former librarian and has a master's in librarian sciences. She cares very deeply about helping parents to teach their kids to love to read. So hers is called Raising Readers: Secrets for Creating a Love of Reading in Your Kids. Now, Jessica, she has a challenge because she has a DIY website. So she might have somebody that wants to, oh, I don't know, redo their patio, or maybe they've got to fix a toilet. Whatever it is, she knows that they're weekend warriors, maybe on a budget, and they're willing to do the work. So 5 secrets to transform your home on any budget has worked well for her. Favorite Family Recipes had Killer Copycats recipes during the pandemic, and that worked great for them. The Happy Chicken Coop worked back, they still have it, but remember, was it a year ago when we couldn't get eggs? They had a massive surge in traffic. Copycat Recipes, Ultimate Spring Recipe Guide, 5 Secrets to Great Mexican Food at Home, 5 Days of Slow Cooker Classics. Sorry, I work with a lot of food creators, as you can tell. This one I want to talk about briefly. My friend Ralphie from Simply on Purpose, she's a parenting expert. Today, she has over 600,000 Instagram followers. At the time that we worked together, she had 120,000. She did not have a website. She did not have an email list. So we created something called Staying Safe: Why We Yell, Why It Doesn't Work, and What to Do Instead. And so it was basically, she put out this for a 2-week period. She said, we're going to talk about stop yelling at your kids. And she called it No Yell Week. And during No Yell Week, she was on Instagram a lot, and she kept talking and promoting this quick start guide. My free course is now live, blah, 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 right? So some examples here. We spent, I don't know, 3 minutes on making this super fancy landing page. This was back in the days of, swipe up to sign up, but same thing works on Instagram today. In fact, she has not changed this landing page. And she went from 0 subscribers to 20,000 subscribers in 2 weeks. Now, of course, there's some low-hanging fruit there, right? She didn't have a list, but doggone it, she was crushing it with an audience that cared very deeply about what she had to say. Now, look at these metrics, too. If you know anything about email math, you know these are very strong. Here's an example of what one of the emails looked like. Why doesn't yelling work? Well, it does in the short term, blah, blah, blah. 3 long-term effects of yelling, yada, 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 on we go. For a video on the negative effects of yelling, click the picture. Now, how much time do you think she spent photoshopping that photo? I think she just grabbed it and threw it in there. Now, look at this button. For a video, guess where that takes you? It takes you to a highlighted story on Instagram. So, you get that? She goes on Instagram, says, sign up for my newsletter and I'll send you something awesome. And then she sends them right back to Instagram where they could have found it the whole time. It's been there the whole time, and the audience loves it. You can do that too. Here's an example of what one of those emails might look like from Sugar Free Londoner. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day 1 of 30-minute keto meals. Did someone say keto and quick? My fastest and best keto recipes. And then it's a roundup of recipes. How hard is that to write? Remember, people don't read emails, they skim. You'll probably hear me talk about that a lot. Now, somewhere in the chat, somebody said that a welcome series had been very intimidating to them and that had held them back. But you can do this, can't you? I hope so. If you can write 3 sentences, you can write a quick start guide. I shouldn't even tell people this on how simple this is. Now, there was a question about Instagram and making money. One of the reasons I show this Instagram example, and I have others too that I could show you on YouTube, on Pinterest, Facebook groups, X or Twitter, TikTok. It doesn't matter. If you had a store and somebody was standing in front of you and you wanted them on your list, this is also the way to do it. If you sell beef jerky at the neighborhood market, this works every time in every situation. It works for real estate agents. It works for librarians. It works for football coaches that want to sell their football playbooks. This works every time. All right. How do I write these emails? Well, this is a text version of a fake food blogger, vegan food blogger email. I am not a food blogger, nor am I vegan. So I am a total poser here, and this is probably a terrible, terrible example. So let's pretend I had a quick start guide called Eating Vegan, a Beginner's Guide. You could imagine that I might have a roundup of 50 tasty vegan lunches on my website, right? So when I decided to, well, let's go through this example. I'll break it down for you. First of all, your email can simply state the problem. We don't have to give a ton of history, although I'll show you that in a second. Tasty lunches for vegans can be hard. It requires forethought and planning. What can make this fast and inexpensive is something you take to work or school for wherever. The slides will only be on video. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, back to this. This is also in the email on autopilot course if you need this as a PDF or these instructions. The tasty vegan lunches can be hard simply says that's the problem. We're stating the problem. Now we can add some personal experience, but we don't need to go too long here. In fact, this might even be too long. When I decided to live a vegan lifestyle, I found that lunch was hard. That's basically what that says. Then you can let them know that you have a solution. Guess where the solution is? I've made a list of tasty, quick, and easy prepare vegan lunches that I know you'll love. Now, be smart about your links. Only link to the articles that you want them to click. What do I mean by that? Too many people overwhelm at first and try to send, this is my Facebook group, and this is my Instagram, and this is my TikTok, and this is my Pinterest. Please pin this and follow this and do this and like and subscribe and blah, blah, blah. When really what we need to do is we need to get them to click right there because they don't know us yet. We're trying to get them to fall in love. Martha is in transaction mode still. We are trying to serve Martha by solving her next problem. And in so doing, we will earn subject matter expert in her mind. Now it's okay to tease your next email maybe at the bottom, something like this. See you tomorrow when I'll share with you 25 vegan recipes that are designed for weight loss. Okay? I'm going to pause. I skipped some questions maybe. If my traffic high varies by season, should I change the hook every season? Olivia, the answer is yes. I think you probably already guessed that because it's all about your existing traffic. What do they want right now? Now, let's start though. Let's not freak ourselves out because many of you just need something that beats never miss an update, right? So if that's you, just pick one. It's still going to be better than whatever you've got right now. If you already have a quick start guide from my previous students, I don't know, Sam, it might be time for another one. It might be time for Easter right now. I have a done for you service for certain niches and where I focus on list growth. And guess what? We're doing Easter right now. And science tells us that the best time to promote Christmas cookies is in fact in December. Science. So that's you too. What I hope for you is You learn how to make these and go boop, 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 copy, replace, duplicate, rinse and repeat. But we're going to learn one. It doesn't need to be the best quick start guide you ever make, maybe just the first. All right. What other questions did I miss? For local travel, I do the quick start guide, easy to add value, but what would be the value of it for general travel? Okay, Joe, great question. Travel is harder because a lot of your traffic, I'm just guessing because I have travel website, a lot of your traffic is that they're coming specifically to learn, where to go in Egypt, where to visit in Honduras. I don't know. And so if they're going to Honduras, they're not that interested in going to Argentina. You can send them that. We do believe that there's probably some wanderlust that those people have and they aspire to that. So you've got to learn that. And there's some general travel tips like, cheap, budget, hacking, travel hacking, credit cards, or inspiration, like you say, Joe, best places to go. That's usually how I go it too. But if you have a situation like that, do you build out content for an Egypt series and create a specific sequence for that? That's what I did with the Disney cruise. So I have on Picture the Magic, people that come for Aulani in Hawaii, that come for Disney World, that have interest in Disney recipes or coloring pages or all sorts of random stuff. The Disney cruise thing is for that segment. It's to capture them and then to serve them because I'm going to get better engagement by sending emails to that person about what they want. So I'm going to make more money with Raptive. I'm going to get better opens and clicks. It's going to improve my deliverability. I'm going to engender trust with them in that process. If you're looking, this is why many of my clients, when they come to me, why their email hasn't been working to this point is that they were hoping to create one master newsletter and just have it be everything to all people. When the opportunity is actually to take your existing content, use email marketing automation in ways that I'm going to share with you on Wednesday to serve them without you breaking your back to do it. Okay. Great question. And how to segment your existing list? Pause on that till Thursday. Okay. Can we hold on that? Let's see. Did I miss any other questions? Quick and easy meals. All right, good. Okay, now you are in luck because today I am giving away free quick start guide ideas. If anybody is stuck, I do not want you to be frozen. All right, because we need to leave from here and we need to go make a quick start guide tonight because we can do this. So who is stuck? If you're ranking number 1, number 2, and are a bit worried about updating a page, how do you drop in the capture? I'll talk about pop-ups and forms probably tomorrow. So stay with me, Heidi, and I'll cover that. All right, Danae was first. Danae, go ahead and unmute. If you can. Does California allow you to do that? I cannot hear you, Danae, if you are talking. All right, we're going to come back to you, Danae. Manali, can you unmute?
Yes.
There you are. All right, remind me what your website is.
Cook with Manali. It's Indian food, Indian vegetarian food.
Okay, so you've heard me give this spiel. What are you thinking?
I also do have like Instant Pot recipes. I think definitely, like you said, the top traffic source is definitely on classic Indian recipes, like the very famous classic vegetarian Indian recipes.
Okay.
So those are my top 10 when I see the analytics.
All right, let's look at these questions. This is your guide, everybody. This right here. Okay, so you've identified that you have Instant Pot, but you also have classic Indian recipes.
Yes.
What is so somebody, and it's Google mostly, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So somebody Googles, I don't know, butter chicken or something, right? Or
that's not vegetarian.
Vegetarian. It really is not. Somebody Googles aloo gobi.
Yes, aloo gobi. Yes, palak
Okay.
paneer. All these. Yeah.
Why? What is their motivation for Googling that?
Um, I either they are Indians, of course, they want to make the recipe, or they are like they just want to learn how to make Indian vegetarian food. So I have like audience from different countries as well who just want to learn how to make homemade Indian vegetarian food.
Okay, so we can assume that if I searched for one of these,
Mhm.
I want to make a specific recipe and I'm willing to put in the work to make it because otherwise I could have done takeout.
Yeah.
Or and I want to, I want it to taste probably like the restaurant or like it did
Yeah.
back home or like my grandma made it or that kind of thing. Am I on the right track?
Yes.
Okay. So what if we did something like 5 secrets to
Mhm.
authentic Indian cooking?
Okay.
Do you happen to let's break this down. Just I think you already get this, but this will be for everybody else's benefit.
Okay.
Let's say that we have 5 emails in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I know when I go to the Indian restaurants. I
Mm-hmm.
don't cook, by the way, everybody. If I had a blog, it would be a microwave burrito blog. That would probably be my specialty. And I would have 2 recipes. I'd have microwave burritos and microwave burritos with cheese because you can do both. You can just stick it in there and then you can put cheese on top of it. It's fantastic. Anyway, so when I go to an Indian restaurant, I want the naan or the
Mm-hmm.
other bread thing, which I don't know the name of it. It's that flat cracker thing. What's that called?
That's papadam. That's not a bread. That's but yeah, there are many Indian breads other
Okay,
than that.
many Indian breads. So email number 1 could be no. Hi, Matt. Welcome to day 1 of 5 secrets to authentic Indian cooking. Over the next 5 days, I'm going to share with you the recipes that you must know to be if you want to really master Indian cooking, or if you just want to enjoy it from time to time. Let's start here. Day 1. No proper Indian meal is complete without a delicious bread. Here are my
Mm-hmm.
5 favorite Indian bread recipes: naan, garlic
Yeah.
naan,
Yeah.
buttered garlic naan.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Day
Yeah.
2 is about the rice because you can't have it without the rice. Day 3 is about the recipes with paneer. Day 4 is
Got it.
recipes with tofu.
Okay.
I think you could make that
Yes.
guide like that.
Okay.
Would that
Got
work
it.
for you?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And do you think like the guides like 5 secrets, like do you think a post like which describes spices used in Indian cooking, something like that can be useful if I had a post on spices most commonly used in Indian cooking?
So I would say yes. You're going to know your
Okay.
audience best.
Okay.
I want you to think about this. This is nuanced. It might be nuanced to food, but I know we have several food folks on here. Remember what Martha wanted when she Googled. She wanted a recipe. She may not want a culinary school lesson.
Okay. Got
Now,
it.
that doesn't mean that you can't insert that in there or that you shouldn't, but
Okay.
you might have better clicks. You'll have to test this stuff. You might have better clicks by just inspiring her with step-by-step easy recipes to make. When I say secrets, by the way, that is a very loose marketing term, right? We're not,
Right.
the secret is add more sugar. We're not doing that type of thing. The secret is to be good at Indian cooking, you master these 5 bread recipes. The secret the next day is you master these, tofu recipes. That's not really a secret, is it? But it's very loose. So just use that word as a proxy. 5 secrets, 5 blanks, 5 ways, 5 days to authentic Indian cooking, if that helps. But yes, so back to your question, the spices might work, but what you might want to do is something along the lines of, hi, Matt, welcome to insert title here. Indian food is all about the spice. A lot of people don't realize how important the spice is, but it's easier than you think. Here's my spice guide. Now, here are 5 recipes that use those spices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the problem that you're solving is teaching them about the spice, but also delivering on what they probably want, which is the inspiration of the recipes themselves.
Okay.
That's very nuanced to food. So for everybody else, it may or may not apply to you. But that's just something because I've worked with food creators for the last 5 years, I've experienced personally.
Okay.
All
Got
right.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, Danae, did we get your thing figured out? I can't unmute. Okay. All right. Danae, tell me what your website is, and we'll do it virtually here. While you're doing that, let me go to, and Danae, the questions are, what is your website? What are your top 4 or 5, what's the biggest stuff that's getting traffic generally, whether it's specifically, Confetti and Bliss food blog. Okay, Confetti and Bliss. Let's see what that brings up here. There we go. Oh, it's a little peach there or something. Oh, okay. All right. And then what are your biggest traffic recipes while you're doing this? I'm looking at this here and all the latest. Okay. Boy, you have a lot of Easter stuff. Do you think, I'm just going to pause for a second. I don't even know what the rest of this, because if pie crust is your thing, pie tells me that people like to bake. Do you think that what I'm baking for Easter might be a quick start guide that would work for you? And then you could share your most popular Easter recipes might be email number 1. Email number 2 might be the breads for Easter. Email number 3 might be Easter brunch yumminess. Email number 4 might be Easter feast desserts. Yeah. And then what about summer? Could you do that same thing as we transition into summer? If you want to do an evergreen one, you certainly could do, what does somebody want? If their motivation is they like to bake, that's different. Those of you who have baking websites, that's different than I just need to get dinner on the table quickly, right? Somebody's willing to get in there and make their own pie crust when they could buy it, the graham cracker crust at Safeway. That tells us something about that person. They like the baking project. They like that. So you could tackle, summer baking projects in the same way that we just looked at Easter. Or you could do it generally, 5 days to becoming a better baker, and that could be, you could have an email about cookies and an email about breads and an email about cakes and an email and pies, crisps, and cobblers, and so on and so forth. I haven't looked at your stuff. Okay, so does that help? What I really recommend, though, for you, Danae, is bang out an Easter one that you will only use for a week. You'll use it again next year, and then you duplicate that bad boy for something in May, whether it's Mother's Day or Memorial Day or whatever. I'm telling you, I can see right here, you are into the seasonal stuff. Certainly your audience is too. All right. We have time for one more. Anybody else? Everybody else has got it figured out? Nobody's stuck? All right, Ange, go ahead and unmute.
Hi.
Hi, what's your website?
It's jugglingactmama.com. And so I know I want to do quick and easy recipes because most of my readers are, trying to get stuff on the table quick.
Okay. What are you getting traffic to?
If you scroll down a little bit, there's my most populars on there. It's mostly 30-minute stuff, casseroles, cheap pan meals. I do a lot with slow cooker too, though.
But nobody is Googling 30 minutes. So what are they actually searching for?
Quick recipes.
They actually Google quick recipes, and that's what brings them to you?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so that's the reason I'm being a little bit of a pill on that is because that is this specific question. Because we don't know their motivation,
right?
Unless we dive into what were they searching for. So let's assume that they were searching for chicken recipes. What's your number 1 recipe? You got to know that one, right? That
chicken spaghetti right there.
Okay. So let's just go through this. Somebody specifically Googled probably chicken spaghetti rotel.
Mm-hmm.
That's very specific. Rotel makes it, well, all 3 of those things make it very specific, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I'm not on page 1 for it, but it brings me a lot of traffic. I get a lot of Pinterest traffic.
Okay, and then, oh, so they're finding out on Pinterest too. So it's a great example. I'm glad that we went there because
Yeah,
Pinterest
so
is
my
the same deal.
traffic, my two top, Google and Pinterest are tied for how much traffic they bring.
Okay, so when they're looking for that, why do you use Rotel?
Because it's super easy. You just open it
Yeah,
up and
it's
dump
almost
it
a
in there.
hack, right?
There's no chopping.
There's no chopping. It's just throw it in there and that's ready.
Yeah.
Chicken spaghetti. Everybody loves chicken. Everybody has chicken, and spaghetti is pasta. All family members, including kids, if they're picky, can do it. And it doesn't take that long to prepare. So I think you're absolutely right about the inference that quick and easy was the thing. But that's the exercise that I go through to try to get there to make sure that that's the case. So what have we got seasonally coming up that somebody who wants quick and easy recipes is interested in?
Well, besides Easter, I guess I have a lot of brunch type stuff that does well for like Mother's Day and then bridal showers and like all the spring stuff.
Okay. All right, great. So I like spring as an interesting one. If you're, if you don't have time to do Easter, we already covered that with Danae, but Easter is also, some people get overwhelmed by Easter. They know they've got family coming over, or they have a big family. They also might want the simplest Easter menu. And so they might be relying on that. You have, if you're looking at spring though, it's a good seasonal change. It's a good excuse to refresh everything, including your menu. If you're in a recipe rut, now you could use that recipe rut, quick and easy, 30-minute meals as your hook and use that evergreen. But you could also, you'll get a little bit of a bump simply by making it seasonal, because people think seasonally. We're living seasonally. And so, I don't know if you have family dinners that use seasonal produce or whatever. Does this give you some ideas?
It does. Yep. I'm sorry. I was just making some notes at the same time.
Sweet.
Yeah. That's
5
perfect.
5 days of or go ahead, steal my Easter menu might be fun, or 5 days to a brand new spring menu. I'm making stuff up right now.
Yeah.
But if you workshop that a little bit, you could probably get that nailed. All right, there's some questions in here.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, cool. If you're creating lots of different hooks, what happens at the end of the initial series of emails? Do you have to carry on with segmentation? Not necessarily. We'll talk about that when I get into the concept I call a forever series, which uses email marketing automation to deliver a series. The short version is, you're kind of guessing probably that with my Disney Cruise people, I continue to send them Disney Cruise related content, but I don't have, that was a blog I started. It's a part, kind of part-time thing. I don't have a ton, but it's still like a 30-week sequence. Okay. So I wrote 30 weeks of evergreen. I'll get into the details of that. And then it sends them that. Now, if I didn't have that, I still could mark them as I know they're Disney cruisers and they're still on my general list. It's whatever you've got. And we're going to walk through segmentation and why that's awesome and how to do it easier. Is there a link limit? No. Olivia, let me show you some examples here so Olivia asked, is there a link limit in the individual quick start guide emails? So let me show you that one that I showed as an illustration. This is it's solving one problem, fast keto. Okay, that's the problem it's solving. But it could be the yogurt, it could be the walnut cookies, it could be that sandwich. And so she's got 5 recipes, each one of them with food. It changes your, people have different taste buds. And so variety for this might work for solving the same problem. Let's look at another one here. This is my top Easter side dishes. So the problem we're solving is sides, and then you've got potatoes, and green beans. So different. This one's got 10. All right. So she just went a little bit crazier in that. Let's look at some others. There's a lot of food. Here's one that is for sewing. I know not everybody on here is food. 30-minute miracles, 5 sewing tutorials. So Kimberly's got her favorite sewing pattern, which is a scrunchie. Okay. Let's see, is there any others that I want to show? I think you get the general idea. Here's one that is a food that is not a roundup. You don't have to do a roundup, and you can write a little bit more if you want. But when you do write, I highly suggest that you consider. When I do it, by the way, I remember that people don't read, they skim. So my paragraphs very seldom have more than one sentence in them. A lot of white space, a lot of italics. I love bullet points. I love a subheader. Did you notice that on every single one of these that I showed you, there was a subheader of some sort? Boom. Why? Because people are going to go, they're going to read this. They're going to come to this. They're going to go blah, blah, blah. They're going to hit that. And then they're going to bounce down here. The rest of it, they're not even reading. Okay. Pictures or just text, test it. You're going to want to test it. I have had a lot of experience lately with just text, and they work really well. However, I am leaning in my quick start guides for the branding elements of pictures. I want, because you're putting your best stuff out here, and you probably have photograph, magazine worthy photographs. So in here, I'm going to do this. Yes, we can talk about A/B testing later. And I'll talk about, you can email more often than you think as well. We'll get into that too with the broadcasts and sequences and stuff. Okay, at the end of these series, how do you end one of these quick start guides? Well, on the final day, day 5, or whatever, if you're doing 7 or 3 or whatever days, at the bottom you say, I hope you enjoyed, insert title here. Going forward, I'll be delivering you the best articles about such and such, and you're going to love it. And that's all you have to say. That's it. You just promise that you're going to send them more emails. You don't have to get specific about it. It's going to be every Thursday at 2 p.m. or any of that sort of stuff. You just let them know that basically they're now on the list. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? If you are stuck, by the way, I will stick around just because we're hitting the top of the hour. I'll stick around. I do not want anybody to walk out of here without an idea. I promise you, we can get you one that can do that. Do I have a product related to the Quick Start Guide? What do you mean? Do you mean the platform or the pop-up or what?
No, if we have a product related to the content that we're talking about in the Quick Start Guide, can we ever mention it within that?
Absolutely. But look, and we're going to talk a lot more about this on Thursday, I think. You can't sell anything until you've built trust. They don't trust you yet. They don't know you yet. You're not Martha Stewart. You're not Rick Steves. We're just not there yet. However, letting them know that you have something to sell is not a bad idea. It's just, I usually will do that kind of towards the end, or down at the bottom, not as just not as the main thing, or in a Quick Start Guide, I might make it the last email in the Quick Start Guide where I do a hard push. I also recognize that I'm not going to sell very many with that, but at least it's the first time that they've heard that I have something for sale. That's always a good thing too. So it doesn't hurt you to do that. So we'll do that. Let me wrap up officially, and I'll answer everybody's questions here just for those that have got to go. Your homework assignment is write a Quick Start Guide, people. So I invite you to select 3 to 5 articles, create a catchy title, put it in a Word doc, or excuse me, a Google Doc, and then share that on Facebook. Tomorrow, I will be happy to review what you wrote and give copy editing advice to anybody who wants it. If you are interested in the tech side of it, sign up for ConvertKit with that link that I gave you earlier, and watch this lesson of how to set it up. I'll walk you through step by step how to set it up in that platform. That's only for the ConvertKit people. And lastly, if you haven't got this yet, go get that email and autopilot course while I am remembering to tell you about it. All right. And that we will, tomorrow, we're going to dive into these emails and how they're written. Oh, there's that ConvertKit if you decide to do it. It's in the email and autopilot course, Anne. Yeah, just to be clear, this is in the email and autopilot course, that lesson, the exact how to set it up. Yep, the homework is basically write a Quick Start Guide in a Google Doc and be ready to share it if you're comfortable with that. tomorrow, and I'll review those and give you feedback, and then we will be off and racing. We will publish it. Okay. All right. Excellent. If you got to get, we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Write the full 3 to 5 quick start guide. You can do it. You got this. If it is overwhelming, you're probably writing too much. Okay. Go fast, break stuff. It's okay if it's ugly. We'll clean it up tomorrow. I promise. I'm here to hold your hand through it. All right. Questions. There was one about, I have a relatively large Flowdesk list. I've kept Flowdesk because it's cheap and easy. I feel like everyone on ConvertKit is always stressed about trimming down inactive subscribers. You know, Kelsey, that's a great concern and question. And I can't solve that one for you. It's about how, and look, I've tried most the big ones, email platforms. Flowdesk has some advantages. The first advantage, of course, is if you grandfathered in at $19 or whatever it was, that's the biggest advantage. The reality is their business model is not built to support you. I used to run a list, and if they're doing it the way that I think that they are, they have a software that's built on a system where they have to pay. They do not own the sending mechanism for the internet, okay? So they have to pay for that, which means that when you get to 90,000 subscribers, they're not all that motivated to send your emails because it costs them. And they're not all that motivated to give you service because that also costs them. Look, the people at Flowdesk, I don't know them. So I'm totally probably speaking out of turn. I can just only speculate why people run into customer service issues as they get bigger. They have a beautiful interface. They have beautiful emails. They have beautiful emails that if you do them wrong, nobody can read them. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever tried to look at a Flowdesk email on mobile and you're like zooming in to try to read whatever that image was that they used the JPEG creator to copy paste into their platform? So they have the pros and cons. It's all about, are you ready to invest in doing this? Also, even with Flowdesk, you should be trimming down your subscribers. Your deliverability is built off of your sender reputation. Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, Comcast, they are all much smarter than they ever were before. So if people aren't opening or clicking your stuff, then Gmail says this is not a legit list, and I am not going to make sure that I put it in Brittany's and Amy's and Jennifer's inbox because I don't trust it. That's their job. Do I need to move up MailChimp? I moved off of MailChimp a long time ago, Heidi. Look, my main thing about the platform is if it's the good platform, if you can get it to work for you. That's the main criteria. If you can do this in Flowdesk, MailerLite, MailChimp, awesome. If not, if you're running into struggles, then I have a guide on ConvertKit. MailerLite's a good platform. MailChimp can get the job done. I just don't know how to do it with my system. I was pulling my hair out with MailChimp. They've like Frankensteined everything onto that program, but they have a lot of features. So some people can do it great. So I'm not here to tell you to move. Moving is a challenge in and of itself. There's a cost to moving, right? So if you're going to move, then you might want to consider moving to a platform where there's a lot of resources there for you. With ConvertKit, I have that for you if you want. And that's actually in the Email on Autopilot course and in my Facebook group. If you use ConvertKit, you can migrate for free. They will help you move. This wasn't meant to be just a sales pitch for ConvertKit, but I'm giving you all the info. So use my affiliate link and then let me know if you run into any struggles at all, because I can grease the skids. I know people over there. That might be another advantage for you. You know a guy who knows people, and people who know people are the luckiest people. Does ConvertKit allow us to segment opt-ins by blog category? Yes, they have a they have a, and by the way, there's lots of software outside of ConvertKit that will do this too. So you don't have to be on ConvertKit to do this. ConvertKit has a WordPress plugin that can show different pop-ups based off of category, post, page. So you can show different things to different people. Was anybody, keep asking your questions. It's fantastic. Is anybody stuck on their quick start guide? Because I want to make sure that I got somebody. Every one of these lessons, by the way, will be posted in the Facebook group. So that's where the recordings will be, if you want to watch those again. So just another reason to join the Facebook group. And of course, if you email me, I'll talk about, Lucy, I'll talk about different form types. I use ConvertKit, but there's a few others that I use that I like as well. So I'll walk you through my favorites or ones I've used that will actually work. And let's get you unstuck.
Hello.
Hi.
So I think I'm mostly stuck because my blog has so many different things going on in terms of yeah, food, lifestyle, whatever. And the posts that people come to my site for are pretty varied in terms of the top ones. So my site is Fantastic Food, FANNE, tasticfood.com. And a couple of my top posts are banana spinach smoothie, almond milk overnight oats, and then a bunch of like how to cook frozen vegetables posts. I'm a dietitian, so it's like healthy recipes, but I've got like all different categories and types. So right now my opt-in is like a week-long meal plan with a grocery list, and all the meals in the meal plan are like links to recipes on my site that they're going to make that week.
Okay.
But it doesn't convert all that well, though part of that is because I hate pop-ups, so I don't have a pop-up. It's just at the end of posts. What is converting well for me is save this post, but then I don't have anyone, I have like a welcome email and that's it. So I don't have anyone going into anything.
Okay. So when you said those, because you had the oats and the smoothie, does that make up like a lot of your traffic? Like 10%?
Yeah. I mean, not like, I have a lot of like direct traffic too, because I do some lifestyle posts still. But that's like the majority of my Google traffic is that. And then my Pinterest traffic is different stuff too, but that's also significant. That's more like easy stir fry recipes, like avocado toast. I don't know. It's like all over the map. So I'm just not really sure where to focus.
It sounded like healthy breakfast though. Is that a common denominator?
From Google, yeah, with the exception of the frozen vegetables series, like how to cook frozen vegetables so they don't suck.
And somebody that's cooking frozen vegetables is not going to be opposed maybe to a healthy breakfast either.
True, although it just feels really different. I don't know.
It is. In absence of knowing, if you and I were working together, I would dive in and I'd do a deeper dive into all of those things and try to come up with some sort of something that would be a good catch-all. Currently, you're not doing the pop-up, so you're not getting that much. And then your messaging is about join this list. That's what people are reading. They're not even reading all this, if they're even reading this, and they're not seeing this because this is going to the very bottom.
And I have the same thing like that just at the end of posts. Again, like I got the save this post thingy set up, and that's been converting really well.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk about that for everybody else tomorrow. So, but as far as your list growth goes, do you, because you're a dietitian, because you focus on healthy, and Google is rewarding you for, seemingly rewarding you for healthy breakfast stuff, would it make sense to talk about healthy food concepts? Something along the lines of 5 days of easy, healthy breakfasts. That's not very sexy that way, but we could come up with a different way to say that.
Yeah, I mean,
five secrets to energizing breakfasts, something along those lines, because they're coming for a smoothie. If you're getting so much for smoothies and overnight oats,
yeah,
I'd probably just lean in there.
Okay.
Because your downside on that is nothing. You're not getting any subscribers now, or very many. And if it doesn't work very well, what you could do in the bare minimum is, based off what we were just talking about, you could move that in the future if you want to do pop-ups I'll talk about pop-ups and try to convince you a little bit. But
I
if
just
you,
hate them so much as a user. I'm like, I can't do it.
well, let's address it now.
Okay.
It's-
Well, my question is there a way to have a pop-up that doesn't, like, there's one person I always read her site. I don't want to be in her list. I just like reading her lifestyle posts. And every time I'm on her site, it like pops up, it's in the way. And it's like, I'm looking from the same phone. Like, is there a way to have someone see it one time and then never again, or like not for a month or something? Because
Yep, that's a setting for sure. I don't know what setting she's got. Usually I've got it so they won't see it again for another 15 days. It's
Okay.
pretty typical. And when you're talking about bounce rates of 80 to 90%, most people never come back anyway. You're a special snowflake for that particular blogger. But yeah,
or like, could you have it so it doesn't pop up at all on a certain category of posts? Or because I don't want people coming back to read my lifestyle posts that are like, God, this damn pop up, you know?
Yep. You could have pop-ups just on recipes, or you could show a different pop-up specific to lifestyle and fitness. If I were doing it, that's what I would do. Let's talk about the annoying factor. If somebody came to my Disney Cruise Tips post, and as soon as they arrive there, a pop-up shows up and says, sign up for updates, and gets in the way of my experience, I 100% agree with you. That is really, really annoying. If I'm a user and I've come there and I'm scrolling through the tips and I'm seeing that these tips are legit awesome, and then at the right time, after a certain amount of time has passed, then the pop-up comes up and says what to expect on your first Disney cruise. That's not annoying. That's actually really helpful because it anticipates my issues. And then it solves my next problem. So my answer to the annoying thing is don't be annoying. If you want to grow your list, pop-ups are a tool that you can use. You don't have to, obviously, but the reason that I use them is because that's the trade-off that I'm making. And I have never had a complaint on that Disney cruise pop-up because I believe it's actually really helpful. So anyway, I can't sell you on it. It's up to you on how you want to grow and how much you want to grow. But I just have done this for 5 years and in literally every niche. So that's my experience there. Now, and to your point, the annoyance is that most people are setting things out of the box and letting it roll. And they're like, oh, I heard I have to pop up, or I'm just putting that on. When we could be, as you are, much more deliberate about what gets shown to whom. There's some, sophisticated software out there. OptinMonster is one of them that has all sorts of bells and whistles. ConvertBox is one of my favorites. We'll talk about these in more detail. But even with the basics, there are some things like, delays and exclusions, and like the things that you talked about. So all that is doable.
Okay.
So anyway, back to your breakfast. That's probably where I would start, is because if you have overnight oats, you probably have eggs, you probably have more smoothies, you probably have protein packed whatevers, different ways to get the right energy that you need when you're out the door for breakfast. And who knows, maybe that's something along those lines might work.
Okay. Yeah, I like maybe like 5 secrets to fast and healthy weekday breakfast or something like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I like the weekday edition there because that kind of spells out, it's a busy, crazy time. So the weekday's good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let me know if we
Thank
can, if you want to brainstorm further, we can do that. And which email on autopilot lesson? It's the one all about the quick start guide. It's really I think it's like the first module probably, but you're really going to get it second module. Thank you. Where you're going to get into the technical how-to. All right. Who else has a question or is stuck? I'm here for you if you want, or just gets awkward and we're just staring at each other. That's a thing too. So, all right, go make the dream happen. If you do anything besides email today, you're doing it wrong. Okay, so go get it done. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.